Hello and welcome back to the Toffee YouTube channel, your source for all things Everton. This is the second video in our series where we've relegated Everton to the National League and we're going to see how they do. Last video we saw they got promoted straight from the National League, they won that with ease, then they won League 2 as well. We've skipped ahead to January in the third season and we're going to see how things have changed. Quick look at the top right here, Marco Silva's still manager, Seamus Coleman and Jordan Pickford are still there. Hot prospect called Tom Van. Just a regen from the game there. And then interestingly, if we look just in this section here, Sandro's the top goal scorer and Schneiderlin and Dowell with the most assists. We'll take a quick look at transfers for this year. Quick look at transfers in, no one significant. Marcus Maddison on a free transfer from Peterborough and Daniel Ballard on a free transfer as well from Arsenal. Then this is where it gets interesting. Nikola Vlasic left to Atletico Madrid for 15 million. Obviously came back and wanted to leave. Mason Holgate has gone to Swansea for 8.25 million and Anthony Robinson to Fulham for 2.6. Then Alex Denny and Fraser Hornby both left on loan. Quick look at the schedule. It was a very strong start of the league with 3 wins on the bounce through in the Carabao Cup first round and then 2 draws, so maybe disappointing results against Burton and Plymouth. Then pretty much wins. A loss to Portsmouth, 2 late goals there, won that for them, Marcus Maddison scoring. Then followed up by a draw against Walsall and then knocked out of the Carabao Cup third round by Manchester City, a team featuring Casemiro and Wilfred Zaha. Then it's pretty much all winning again until Scunthorpe. Then wins all the way until the FA Cup third round, which ended up a 1-1 draw, so that will be replayed, which we'll see when we skip to the end of the season. And then a quick look at the tactics. Wow, okay. Jordan Pickford, obviously still the number 1. Seamus Coleman, the starting right back. Yerry Mina and Benny Beningame are the seemingly the 2 starting centre-backs. I didn't realise Benny Beningame could play there, but that's where he's being played. With Lewis Gibson, the favoured left-back, interesting. Callum Connolly and Morgan Schneiderlin in the midfield, sitting in a 2. And then, as we go up, Anthony Gordon, another young prospect, playing right-wing. Gylfi in the middle, Bernard stays, and then Sandro Ramirez, probably going to leave this summer. He has been the top goal scorer so far in this season, and he has made 30 appearances in total. Other significant appearances, Ryan Astley, defender in the under-23s at the moment. Ellis Sims, he's made a couple of substitute appearances, he's got himself some goals as well. So we're going to skip to the end of this season now and see where Everton are at the end. Welcome back. We have skipped to the end of that season where we previously looked at the January window, and as you can see, it's another comfortable win in the league. Everton have won Sky Bet League 1 with 113 points. Portsmouth coming in second with 85. Never a concern again for Marco Silva's team, and they've wiped the floor with the league. You can see here only 5 losses against Coventry, Northampton, Fleetwood, Scunthorpe and Portsmouth, and then only 5 draws against Portsmouth, Burton, Walsall, Plymouth and then Burton again. Quick look at the other competitions, maybe disappointing. 4th round knockout against Leeds in the FA Cup, knocked out in the 3rd round by City in the Carabao Cup, which we already knew, and then knocked out in the Checker Trade Trophy by Doncaster Rovers. Very disappointing result that. Not sure anyone would be too bothered about us winning the Checker Trade Trophy, but at the end of the day it is a trophy. Quick look at transfers since January. Ryan Sessegnon came in on a loan from Manchester United, very interesting one there, previously of Fulham. And Oliver Skipp came in on a loan from Tottenham, and Ashley Eastham came from Fleetwood for £135,000. 30-year-old there. We can look at the transfers out in the January transfer window. A big one there. Lewis Gibson, starting left-back for the whole season, went to rivals Portsmouth for 2.2 million. Very interesting transfer, not sure why that happened. Then it gets really interesting again. Pedro Neves went on a loan to Chesterfield. Richarlison went to Borussia Dortmund for 37.5 million. Kieran Dowell went to Swansea for 1.9 million. They also got Mason Holgate, if you remember. Callum Connolly, so that's 4 starters there who were all sold in the January transfer window, went to Bristol City for 2.2 million, and Ellis Sims, who was also on the bench, went to Lecce. Very confusing transfers there, so don't really understand. We can look at the tactics now, we can try and figure out what they were doing. Yao Virginia finished the season, but take it Jordan Pickford was the main player. Seb Quirk at right back, not really sure who that is. He was playing at right back. He made 14 substitute appearances and 9 starts, so I take it Seamus Coleman was the starting right back. The defence with Yerry Mina and Ryan Astley as the 2 centre backs. Benny Benningham dropped to the bench. Wow. Left back Mark. Is it Mark? I don't know. I've just made that up. Marcus Humphreys, yeah, a regen. He's only played 3 games though, so I'm not sure who else was playing left back. Not sure there. Dennis Adeniran. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. He played in the midfield alongside Oliver Skipp towards the end of the season. Skipp making much more appearances. Marcus Maddison again playing on the right wing. Anthony Evans coming in as central attacking midfielder for the final 3 games. So a lot of these players did not make many appearances. Anthony Gordon finished on the left wing, and up top Tom Van, another regen. Some interesting transfers there, some definitely debatable sales and January transfer window. What we're going to do now, they've won Sky Bet League 1, they'll be in the Championship next season. We're going to skip ahead right to the end of that season and see how they do. Hello and welcome back. We've skipped to the end of the next season, as you can see on your screens, they've walked the Championship. Every league has been walked so far, despite selling the majority of the squad. They've walked every single league. 103 points there, finishing above Swansea on 87. Wasn't even a competition. Next up, the FA Cup, knocked out in the semi-final by Manchester City. We'll take a closer look at that result in just a moment. And knocked out in the quarter-final by Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup. So actually some fairly decent cup runs, but maybe disappointing that they didn't get all the way. Quick look at transfers. Okay. Gabriel came from Lille on a free transfer, playing at centre-back. Lucas Powell from Birmingham for 10,500. He plays at left-back. Connor Coventry from West Ham. Alan Brown from Crystal Palace. I take it these are all just regens. Oh no, Alan Brown's a player. How about Connor Coventry? Okay, so they're both players, so ignore me. Bradley Dack from Leeds. John Shelvey came on loan from Newcastle. TJ Ioma from Tottenham, and Luke Shenton on loan from Leeds. Only the one permanent transfer, and that was Lucas Powell from Birmingham. Over here on the sold section, Ellis Sims, who was playing well in League One, was sold to Lech Poznan, I believe that is. Yes, for 115,000. Hornby, Meadows, Pedro Neves, and Seb Quirk and Marcus Maddison all went out on loan. Marcus Maddison was a key player in the League One, but apparently has dropped out of the team. Anthony Gordon went on a permanent transfer to Swansea, another very important player in the League One season, so an interesting one. Adeniran again went on loan to Enugu Rangers. Bobby Carroll and Daniel Ballard both went out on loan, and then Ashley Eastham was sold to Nottingham Forest for 110,000. I'm pretty sure he was brought in at the end of last season, so didn't spend long there. And then 2 more loans, Matthew Hutchinson and Hayden Cannon. Quick look at the schedule. Obviously, majority going to be wins. Let's look at the Carabao Cup run. Win against Wigan, then Mansfield, then Cheltenham, then penalties against Chelsea, and then out in the quarter-final to Bournemouth from 2 quick-fire goals on the 12th and 13 minutes. We can look at the FA Cup run as well. A win against Palace, a draw against Arsenal, which was then replayed for a penalty win. 2 penalty wins in the Cup there against big sides. A win against Swansea, a win on penalties against Villa, and then the semi-final, it's a 2-0 loss to Manchester City. Wasn't that close in the end, but did well to get all the way. Obviously, majority of the games are going to be wins. They did walk the league again, so that means next season they're back in the Premier League. It didn't take long. Obviously, most of the squad gets sold, but they've bounced right back up as fast as they could. They've walked every single league. They even picked up a trophy or 2 on the way. Okay, so just to end off the video here, we're going to take a quick look at what's been happening in the world of football while Everton have been relegated. Quick look at the table in the most recent season, which is the 2021-22 season. City winning the league easily. Southampton managing to qualify for Europe, which is interesting. And obviously the new teams in the league being Bristol City, Leeds, and, well, Aston Villa, even though they are in the league this year. And other than that, everyone else has stayed the same. The past winners, City pretty much been dominating. Tottenham did manage to win the league in 2019 to 2020, which is obviously, that could happen next season. They've had a good season this season, get to the Champions League final. Obviously, Football Manager thinking that the 2018-19 season went to Liverpool. Obviously, we know that it didn't. Next up, I actually stumbled across this just before. We're going to take a quick look at the news. Guardiola was sacked by Arsenal, so Guardiola clearly left Manchester City. He left in 2019, obviously after they didn't win the league, and he went to Arsenal and then got sacked there again. Quite interesting. Now we're going to take a quick look at Everton's transfers. Obviously, there's been quite a few players who have left now. We're going to take a quick look at where they all might have ended up. So we're going to go all the way back to the 2018-19 season. Not too many players left here, but Phil Jagielka and Idrissa Gueye being the main ones that left Everton departures. Idrissa Gueye obviously made his big move to Real Madrid, but then eventually moved to Bournemouth. Interesting. So he spent 2 seasons at Real Madrid, only making 27 appearances. Then Bournemouth must have paid for him. I'm not sure how much they paid for him, but not quite the transfer that he probably would have wanted. Phil Jagielka then stayed at San Jose until his retirement. He only stayed for 1 season. And then the 2019 to 2020 season, quite a few transfers there. Keane, Calvert-Lewin, quite a lot of permanent transfers that season. We could look at where they are now. Take a quick look at the inbox here. Just panning through quickly. Tom Davies is now playing for Southampton. When he left, he stayed there. Cheng Tosun currently playing for Shakhtar, so after he left, he hasn't left his other club either. Some more interesting ones, Lucas Digne at Wolves, so he hasn't left where he signed for either. And then Michael Keane is at Brighton, which is probably an interesting one. He probably could have done better than that, seeing how he's played this season. Other than that, no one too significant. Henry Onyekuru, he's been in the news quite a lot recently, whether he's going to stay. Marcus Silva doesn't seem to want him. He left to ADM, which is in the Brazilian league. Interesting move for him. And then Calvert-Lewin is playing for Newcastle United now. Then going to go all the way back to the 2020 to 21 season. Some big transfers here with Nikola Vlasic and Mason Holgate. We can take a quick look at where they've gone. Mason Holgate left for Swansea. He only spent 1 season there, playing 38 games, and then he went to Wolves, and he's been playing there since. He's made 32 appearances there, probably as a central defender. Richarlison has stayed at Borussia Dortmund. He left in the 21 season. He's been playing there for 2 seasons now. He's made 30 appearances, scoring 12 goals. Nikola Vlasic is still turning out for Atletico Madrid. He's made 51 appearances in 2 seasons, so he's doing quite well for himself. He seems that he might be leaving this summer. Doesn't seem like he's in the favour of Marco Silva. And then just some other ones. Anthony Robertson playing for Fulham, and Kieran Dowell is at Swansea City. Then finally we can look at which players left this season. Not too many significant ones. Anthony Gordon went to Swansea. He has made 42 appearances, scoring 20 goals, so he's played well. Ellis Sims went to Lech Poznan. He's made 11 appearances and scored 7 goals. So thank you very much for watching. We do appreciate your support on these videos. Remember to leave a comment below on what you think might be a good video idea, and we'll catch you later. Bye.